Hey there, it's Mitzi. Welcome to my channel. Today we're talking about all my reading plans for the month of May. So I have several readathons and challenges during the month of May that I want to participate in because I'm always a joiner for these things. I love all the booktube challenges and readathons because it helps me get these books off of my shelf read that I have been wanting to read for years. So that helps me and it encourages me. Now, does that mean I'm going to read all these books? No, but if I can get, just a couple of them read, I feel like that's a successful reading month when I can do that. So for the month of May, there are several readathons. The first one I want to talk about is May of the Moderns, and I'm really excited about that because I love modern classics, and these shelves back here are full of modern classics. I just love that time from the 1900s, so 1901 to like the 1940s. So that's kind of our span of time. So there's lots to choose from. I mean, that's 40 years of publishing, and there's some great books during that time period. So that's the time that we're using for the May of the Moderns. And this is hosted by Margaret Pennard, and I will leave a link to her announcement video below in case you're interested. If if you're interested in reading modern classics, maybe you've never tried any, or if you have some on your shelf, come over and join us for this readathon because I think it will be a fun one. So I have pulled several things from my shelf that I already wanted to read, and they were actually on my book cart, which means that it's things I really want to get to this year. So I pulled, I pulled 5 from my book cart that are modern classics, and these were all written again from 1901 to 1940-ish. So I think all mine are actually like the 1900s and 1920s. Anyway, the first one is by L. M. Montgomery because I'm trying to read everything she's ever written, and that is Magic for Marigold. And I wanted to read this when we had our readathon. I think that was November, but I didn't get to it. So this will be my chance to do that. So Magic for Marigold by L. M. Montgomery, and it was published in 1929. So I definitely could use this one for the readathon for the May of the Moderns. The next one is one I'm really excited about because I found this book. It's another one by Elizabeth von Arnim, and I'm trying to read all of her works as well. I've read several by Elizabeth von Arnim, and I've enjoyed every one of them so far. This one is called The Caravanners, and I thought that this might be a good time of year to read this one. And this was published in 1909. So that's another choice. Again, I won't get to all of these. So if you see one that you really think, oh, you need to make that a priority, let me know in the comments, because these are just my choices for the May of the Moderns. The next one is The Homemaker by Dorothy Canfield Fisher. I think that's what that says. I don't have my glasses on. And this was published in 1924. I have this beautiful Persephone edition of this. I think someone gave this to me for Christmas this past year. So I had put this one on my cart because I really want to get to it too. And then this one is the last two are super famous modern classics. This one is The Age of Innocence by Edith Wharton. I know I should have already read this. It's not that long. And it was published in 1920. I have only read one other Edith Wharton, and it was called Summer. I read that last summer, and I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed her writing. It was a little depressing, but I did enjoy the writing. I thought that the way that she told a story was interesting, so I do want to read this one. And this has been on my list for a very long time, as well as this next one. The final choice for May of the Moderns is O Pioneers by Willa Cather. Is it Cather or Cather? I don't even know. But anyway, I've never read any of her books, but I've heard great things about her writing, and many of you have told me I would enjoy it. So I'm going to start with this one because I'd found this beautiful hardcover of O Pioneers, and I've heard of that one. This is one I've wanted to read. This was published in 1913. So those are my 5 choices for May of the Moderns. If you've read any of these, let me know, and let me know where you think I should start with these. I want to get all of them, but of course I won't be able to do that. Who knows? I might be able to. But because I do have these other readathons I want to participate in. But those 5 are my choices. So I've got to decide which one I want to read. So let me know which one you think would work best for that readathon. There's a new middle grade book club, and I'm really excited about this. It is kicking off during the month of May. If you're familiar with Middle Grade March, if you follow my channel, you are familiar because I get so excited over Middle Grade March. But it's the 4 hosts of Middle Grade March are now going to host this middle grade book club. And so again, I'll leave all the information down below in case you're interested in joining us in the middle grade book club. If you enjoy middle grade, or if you want to try some middle grade, this is a great opportunity for you. So there is a list. They've already created a list of books for middle grade book, this middle grade book club. And I will leave them down below, maybe the schedule, because I printed it out so that I could keep up with it. And I think what they're going to do is have, give you time to read the book, so you can, go ahead and try to find these books along the way. And then at the end of the month, have a discussion. And so one of the hosts will lead us in a discussion in the book that we read. I know that the first book for May is the, what's that book called? The Ogress and the Orphans. I think that's what it's called. I've already read that. I actually read it for this past middle grade March. So I'm ahead of the game. I'm way ahead already. And I really enjoyed that book. If you haven't read it, I do recommend it. It was a great book. I think it's a great one for a book club as well. So I think we'll have a good discussion with that. But I've already read it, so I don't have to read anything for the month of May for the middle grade book club since I've already read it. But I do plan on participating in that discussion, and I thought that I would announce it since it does kick off in May. And again, if you're interested, I will leave the information below. Yeah, The Ogress and the Orphans. I wrote it on this paper. The Ogress and the Orphans is the first book for May, and I really did enjoy that one. Okay, and then there is middle grade MAYhem, and this is the middle grade May readathon. So there's one for middle grade in March, and there's one for middle grade in May. And of course, I want to participate in both because I have so many middle grade books and I'm always reading them, so why not? This one is hosted by, there's 4 hosts for this one. I'll leave links for the announcement videos below. This one's interesting because what they're doing is they are all going to have their own little themes or prompts. So each host, each of the 4 hosts has a theme, and then they have 3 prompts for that theme. And you just kind of pick and choose whichever one you want to participate in. So you visit each host and they will share their 3 prompts is how this is. So for Elizabeth's prompt, she had 3 prompts about, I think it was funny or humorous, but I chose to read for hers the funny animal book because she mentioned Ginger Pie to read that one for a humorous animal book. And I have Ginger Pie. I just received this book. I just bought this book last month. I haven't even shared it on my channel yet in a book haul. But this is a Newbery, and I'm trying to read all the Newberries. And all of these, by the way, that I've chosen are Newberries because that's my main goal this year, is to get some of these Newbery books read. Anyway, so this is Ginger Pie by Eleanor Estes. And look at that beautiful cover. I'm really excited because I just received this. So when I heard Elizabeth mention it, I was like, yep, that's what I'm going to do for your prompt. So what I'm doing, I don't think I said this, what I'm going to do is choose one prompt from each host, and I'm making sure that it fits Newberries, if that makes sense. So for Elizabeth's prompt, funny animal stories, and so I chose that for that one. And then let me look at my notes. I have all these notes here. Beth's theme is diaspora. Is it diaspora or diaspora? I didn't even know that word. I've never heard it. I had no idea what the word meant, but she explains it all in her video. So if you're like me and you don't even know what that is, you probably do. You probably are smarter than I am. I'd never heard that word. But anyway, it means the dispersion or spread of a people from their original homeland. It's her main theme, and then she had 3 prompts to go with that. So for that one, I chose, again, another Newbery, Julie of the Wolves by Jean Craighead George. I'm thinking I've read this, but I can't remember. So I'm going back and reading it because I don't remember anything about it. But this one is about her heritage. The main theme, or one of the main themes in the story, is about her coming to terms with her heritage and celebrating her heritage as she goes on this journey. I think that's what this is about, so that's why I chose this one for Beth's theme. Okay, the next theme is Storm. Storm had a super easy one for me. She did book with a house on the cover was one of her prompts. And there is a house on this cover, but it's tiny. This is The Dark Frigate by Charles Boardman House. And if you look real close, there is the ship, of course, but there's a tiny little house right here. There is a house on the cover of this one. Again, it is a Newbery. It's a very early published Newbery. So I want to get to that one too. And I received that one, I think, for Christmas. My husband gave me that one as well as the next one. So I want to get those read this year as well. And then the last one, Lee, her theme is teams. And so for this one, she talked about teams in different ways, like families or joining a team, to achieve a goal, that kind of thing. So that's what I'm going with. This is Smokey the Cow Horse by Will James. It's got this beautiful little cowboy on the front. This cowboy on a horse. This one is about Smokey the cow horse who joins a team, not by choice because he is in the wild, and then I think they tame him and use him for different things. I'm not exactly sure, but I'm going with that for teaming up with a group, and I think he teams up with several groups in this story. So that's what I'm going with for Lee's prompt of teams. So those are the 4 books I chose for the middle grade MAYhem: Ginger Pie, Smokey, Julie of the Wolves, and The Dark Frigate. So those are my choices for that one. I also have several other books that I want to read. I want to continue with Serious About series and try to get a series in here. Definitely a Miss Marple. I'm always reading those. Every month I read a different one. I just finished one yesterday, and I'll be talking about that one in another video when I talk about my wrap up for April, so be looking for that. But I wanted to go ahead and get this video out because it is the beginning of May, and these are my plans in case you wanted to join any of these readathons. So let me know if you've read any of these. Where do you think I should start? What should be my priorities? Let me know what you're reading and if you're joining in any of these readathons or challenges. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.